All right, everybody grab a seat. We are going to learn about fasting. We are going to learn about fasting. We're not going to learn just about fasting. We're going to learn much, much more in depth. We're going to learn so much. There's going to be revelations given, I believe. Blessed are those who read that book.
So we went over fasting, and when we went through it, our group came to the conclusion that so I want to take you back to the time that this is talking about. So we are talking about a time where the Pharisees are the golden standard of following God and doing what is right. These people are not given the Bible readily to read. Okay. So they are following these people that they assume know more than them. God is challenging that in this entire sermon, but I feel as though he is challenging it specifically a little bit more in this specific section. As to why, the Pharisees, when they would fast, it would be this huge thing. It'd be a ceremony. It'd be, oh, we're going to wear veils. We're going to not shower for days. We're going to never eat. We're going to look decrepit. And that was not the heart that God wanted behind fasting. He wanted you to be able to not show everyone else. He wanted you to show him that you wanted to do this and not for everyone else's attention.
So we kind of came to the conclusion that fasting is more about the heart, and it's more about just between you and God. It doesn't matter who else is watching. And we kind of, toward the end of our discussion, we started focusing on the big question of what sacrifice is important to God in fasting. And it took us to Psalm 51:17, which just says, "The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O God, you will not despise." And that just kind of reminded us that in fasting, we're just being open with God about like what we need to give up, and we're spending that time with him. And that's really all it comes down to. It's not about what everyone else is seeing. It's not for them. It's just between you and God. So it's very personal. And I believe that's all we have.
Okay, so our group was kind of talking about, we already talked a little bit about it, but in this specific part, we're talking about how like God's opinion matters versus just like everybody else's opinion. So we picked a question: why can it be difficult to focus on God instead of other people's opinions? And as humans, it's really easy to put our worth in people's opinions over God's opinion, just because, like people are everywhere and they're physically here, and we are always getting people's opinions like on us. Whereas if we want to hear God's opinion on us, we have to listen, and we have to actually like put in effort, which we don't like to do sometimes. So when we're fasting, it can be easy to try to like get our strength from people's validation and do it from other people. Like if I'm fasting and I go up to Ava and I'm like, "Ava, I would really like to get food with you today, but I'm fasting." And she's like, "Whoa, that's like so Christian of you. Like you're such a good Christian. That's amazing for you." And I'm like, that's what's going to get me through the day, fasting. Like that's not going to like work for you, because like only God can sustain you through fasting. And when you're doing it for him, you're learning to rely on him. And so he's teaching you through fasting to like put your worth and identity in him and lean on him and him alone. And like he's shifting your mindset, because I don't know about you, but like I can't just like sustain, like I can't completely just function off of what other people think about me, because it doesn't work. Like only God's words and just strength is what can get you through fasting, and what can get me where I need to go and get my mindset where it needs to be. So yeah, it's just like walking the line where you're looking at God while you're fasting and not at everybody else is very important. Because like Chloe and Gabby said, it's about the heart.
Okay, so something that kind of occurred to me with what Jesus is talking about is in the Old Testament, you see with the Ten Commandments, the law was for the most part designed on your outward appearance and like how you affect other people and their lives. Like, for instance, you shall not murder and you shall not steal and stuff like that. That has to do with affecting other people. Whereas what Jesus is talking about with fasting, particularly in multiple other sections in the Sermon on the Mount, is your mental, your private spiritual life and how you act when people aren't looking and when people aren't listening. I don't know if you...
So we were talking about a little bit more about how God sees it as fasting as sacred with like between you and God. And so especially with, and the best example we came up with, I think something Scott mentioned, was between a husband and a wife. So between a husband and wife, obviously they have, their sexual relationship, but like people would just see that as whatever. But like when you have that, it's like between a husband and wife, it's such a sacred thing that God brings them together. And truth is, it's a beautiful thing. And so that's how you should see fasting, is that you shouldn't see it as, oh, how can I get glory? How can I get, people to say, good job? You should see it as, this is sacred between me and God and a relationship to build with God. And see, okay, Lord, show me what you haven't shown me. Or, Lord, I haven't been feeling you right now. I'm going to go just on a fast. So it's just kind of about feeling the Lord's presence call to it. So, do you have anything else?
Yeah. And also, like, regarding like whether or not like making a big deal out of it in front of other people, there's multiple places in the Bible where it talks about why you shouldn't do this. An example of this is in James 3 verses 13 to 15. It says, if you are wise and understand God's ways, prove it by living an honorable life, doing good works with the humility that comes from wisdom. But if you are bitterly jealous and there is selfish ambition in your heart, don't cover up the truth with boasting and lying. For jealousy and selfishness are not God's kind of wisdom. Such things are earthly, unspiritual, and demonic. So in James, it's kind of put pretty clearly, you shouldn't be doing it for people's glory because it's frankly demonic. So... yeah, that's all I got.
Applause. I love it. Dude, that was good. Seriously, that's a message right there in itself. To double down on what Dimitri was saying, though, it just goes far deeper than you could ever imagine, because I encourage you, remember, the gifts that God has given you in the specific order and way that He has designed you, these things are sacred between you and God. It is an intimate relationship, and that's what Jesus is explaining. He's saying that those who are under Him are no longer under the law. Does that mean I can murder people now? No. What He's saying is there is such a relationship here. I didn't come to find rule followers, because then the Pharisees would be right, making a big scene, blowing their horns. And why is He saying they're wrong? Because they're following the rules. He's not looking for you to wake up and read your Bible every morning because you have to. He's trying to get you to understand, I've come to be with you. I want an intimate relationship with you where we are sacred. When I pray in tongues, that is my language between me and God. Nobody understands it. Nobody gets it. Nobody can fathom it. It is a direct tie from my heart to my God's. It is so beautiful to have that gift. I'm so honored to have that. It's that intimate thing that nobody else will understand. Nobody gets to experience with me. Only me and God. I love it. There's a holiness there. There is a bond I never want to break. It's beautiful. And like Dimitri said, this can be fasting for you. This is what fasting should be. If my heart is not, look at me, oh, I'm doing it, oh, I'm close to 40 days like Jesus, everybody look at this. My heart is, God, I can't do this. But you can. You are enough. I will deny myself my basic need of food because I believe you are enough. I want you more than I want to eat, more than I want to literally live. I want you more. Just come be with me because I tell you now, I can't make it through. I want to eat right now. When you really actually fast, and I mean not like a 12-hour or a Daniel fast. I mean, those are fasting too. They're real fasting. But I mean, if you ever really go for it in life, it gets weird. It gets really, I'm talking romanticizing, having dreams about cheeseburgers, man. Like, it gets weird. Like, things I said I would never touch, I would pay an obscene amount of money to be able to eat. It gets weird. It gets to the point where minute by minute you are praying and praying and praying. God, you better be my strength. I need you. I need you. I need you. But here's the nuts thing. When your heart's right, it's actually not that difficult. He shows up and he sustains you. He answers every one of those prayers. When your heart's wrong, I've tried to make it 7 days. I couldn't even make it a day because my heart was, I got to do this. I want to do it in my own strength. And, I'll be disciplined enough. Doesn't work. But then when you change your heart, and your heart is, I just want to please you, God, and I want to know you, and I want to be with you, and I want you to be near me. Can we do this together? Just watch how he shows up, and he's God. I started a new thing explaining to you young people. Honestly, stop worrying about things, man. When God tells you to do something, I really encourage you, just relax. I know I can't tell girls this, but relax, okay? Do me a favor and sit back. You have a front row seat to watch God be God. Just watch. But I can't pass the test and I have a final and I gotta study and I gotta freak out and I gotta make time and I can't do this in my oboe practice in soccer and relax, man. He's God. Ask him to come into it and then sit back because you got a front row seat and watch him be God. Trust him. Believe in him. It's a beautiful thing when you learn to stop freaking out and just sit back and let him be God. Anybody else got something to share? Come on. Anybody? Any other groups? Got something burning on your heart? Timothy, I believe you do. Get up here. You do? Well, I'll answer it. Get up here. I'll answer it. Okay, do it, both of you. I don't care. Get up here. We got 5 minutes, and it's for you. So tell me what the Lord's been sharing.
So let me see. So what really got us started on the argument was reflection question number 3, which was, what does fasting look like in your life today? Not just food, but distractions. Where my argument was that real fasting is fasting of something that you need, and not just like your phone or something. Because you can logically go like a week without your phone or even a year without your phone and still be fine. But you can't go a year without food without letting God. You need to rely on God. And I feel like that's the whole heart behind fasting.
And yeah, my argument was more like you're putting aside things that you really enjoy, that you really rely on kind of in order to focus on God more. So if I'm putting aside food, but I'm just scrolling on my phone all the time, just instead of eating, is that really fasting though? Or if I'm just doing the same thing, I put my phone away, I'm like, I'm not gonna go on my phone, I'm just eating food all the time, is that really fasting?
But if you put your phone, if you're on your phone all the time and you're not eating food, eventually you're just gonna die. Right? If you don't eat food, you're gonna die without God.
The point is you're putting aside the distractions, though. You're like, is that?
I mean,
Thank you. This is what I'm looking for, believe it or not. This is what I want. I want you to actually, okay, gentlemen, thank you. I actually want you to have these discussions. Because believe it or not, you're right. Both of you. I know that's a mind grenade. True fasting, yes, is something you need. And I could make the argument, if I wanted to get involved in this, I could make the argument that I need my phone because honestly, I would get fired pretty quick if I didn't have my phone. My whole job is to be available to you guys 24/7. Do you know how much work I do on my phone? That's the pitiful thing is we live in a freaking world now where your phone is mandatory. Do you know how much I want to get rid of Facebook? You know I literally can't. Because then who runs the Torch page? Who has Torch Instagram? I literally had to give it to my wife and then just change the password so I can't access it. Because I don't want it. But now that didn't work, and so I'm back having it again. Now I'm just learning how to block it on everything personal. So unless I'm here, I can't get it. It's a nightmare. But yes, but Timothy is correct too. Your heart. Your heart, your heart, your heart. See, here's the crazy thing, Elijah. Here's where I challenge you. Asher can back me up on this. We're picky eaters, right? Fasting 24 hours hard for you? Nah, it's not. I can go 24 hours. My wife gets angry at me because I come home and she goes, "What'd you have to eat today?" I'm like, "Oh, shoot, I forgot." And she's like, she's still been married to me 8 years, cannot get it through her head. She's like, how do you forget to eat? And I was like, you don't understand. When I was a child, I was so stubborn that my mom made me sit at the dining room table with food I didn't want to eat. And she said, if you don't eat it, you have to go to bed hungry. And I'm giving it to you for breakfast. And guess what? I was so stubborn. I wouldn't eat it for breakfast either. And I would just keep doing this over and over. I go on mission trips. I would not eat food that I did not like. Therefore, I just learned how not to eat. It's not difficult. It is a skill you can learn. And it's actually really good for you. Believe it or not, fasting is very healthy. So me and Asher were talking about this. 24 hours, man, I got that in the bag. So my question, Elijah, which would God rather? 24 hours without my phone or 24 hours without food? Because one, I can do in my sleep. The other is actually going to be pretty hard. He'd rather me give up my phone because my heart is where, not in the food. Food is useless to me, honestly. I could never, if God could make it so I could never eat again, I'd be cool with it. I actually would prefer that. It takes up a lot of my time. But to not have the shorts, my entertainment, when I'm sitting in the doctor's office with nothing to do and just like, I hate my life because I'm just so bored. You guys don't know what boredom is. I remember a cross-country trip with my brother with no devices whatsoever, and we just sat there, and he just kept his finger like 2 inches from my face. I broke it, but it's fine. It's fine. It healed. It's fine. It was a whole thing. This is what boredom really looked like. Anyway, we're getting off track. But you understand what I'm saying? One, the heart is hard to give up something. That's why I constantly tell you when we talk about fasting, if it doesn't hurt, you're not fasting. If when you go to make the decision, I'm fasting for a week, and it doesn't immediately bring up actually we shouldn't, now I can't. No, come on, okay, 3 days, let's take 3. I'll do 3. And then you go, no, I'll do 7. God, I'll do 7. I'll do 7, but you better be God. Oh, you better be God so much. If you don't have that conversation, my argument is you're not fasting. It should be challenging. You should make a declaration in which you go, I don't think I can do it. Good, pick that one. Do that. Because the heart behind that is immediately already, I need you because this is ridiculous. Good. That's the way it should be. If you're making fasts and it's like, yeah, I just won't talk to Natalie this week. And it's like, yeah, that's because you guys are in a fight. You haven't talked to her in a month. What are you talking about? That's not a fast. That's not hard. That's not difficult. It's like, oh, I won't eat cheeseburgers for 40 days. When was the last time you had a cheeseburger? I've never had one in my life. And it's like, okay, hard to do, man. What is that heart, though? Come on, somebody yell it out. Whose heart is that? Whose heart is that represents? No. Go, not the devil. Golly, go back to your scriptures. Who is Jesus addressing? He says, don't blow your horns. It's a Pharisee heart, man. What is the difference? What is the difference between giving up something that doesn't hurt and you're going to do in your sleep, or coming up front and going, I haven't eaten for 40 days. Look how holy I am. What's the difference? There is none. There's zero difference. It's the same heart. You're doing it for the wrong reasons. You're doing it because it's easy, or you're doing it for people's benefit and to get good things from them. None of which is what Jesus is telling you to do. He's saying, pick something that's difficult, that's going to literally rip your heart out to do. But do it with me. You know, real quick, just last 5 minutes, I promise. The real reasons I love missions so much, why it's so near and dear to my heart? One of many, 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 many reasons. Raise your hand if you've been on a mission trip with me. See these hands? I have a bond and a connection with these people like nobody else in this room. Because at some given point, especially you two, at some given point, we've gone through hell. And I actually mean that. The reason I said especially, though, is in Romania, I will never forget that night. We get home, it was exactly halfway through our trip. We get to the girls' room to have our debriefing thing. It was our public meeting place, and one of them starts crying. And Judah starts laughing. And then they were like, where's Scott? We need to fix this. And I am in a fetal position in the corner, laughing and crying. And then Hannah started to cry. And next thing I know, the whole group, either crying or laughing. Some were doing both. And I said, you know what? Let's just do it. Autumn walked in and was very confused as to what was happening. And then was like, you know what? We need this. And I'm pretty sure she started laughing. But we just had like a solid 20 minutes of just crying and laughing together. Because why? We were so exhausted and so drained and so worn out from serving God together that this is all we had left. We couldn't even speak. It was crying and laughing. That was all we could do. And it was so beautiful. I never forget that moment. Oh, I love it. It bonded us. It was a moment of togetherness. That's what God's looking for when you fast. When you go through these weird hallucinations about food and you start calling on Him, not like some of you have been, like a hotel down to the bellhop, hey, bring me some food, servant. No, you start calling like a soldier pinned down in a foxhole, calling through a walkie-talkie for your life. God, you better show up or I'm going to eat a finger. Get here now. When you start calling to God like that, oh, baby, you'll never forget it. The bond that it creates with Him, it's like, oh. It's like that moment in Romania in a tiny hotel room watching teenagers cry and laugh hysterically. And then just joining in because I got nothing, I can't. I got nothing left to give, man. Hawaii, I remember it when we had our worship night, man. in that Girl Scout tent, Lord, things got weird. And the whole trip was imploding. And Thomas just grabbed a guitar and Natalie started singing. And I was just crying, rocking back and forth with God, going, I thought you wanted us here. What is happening? Nothing we came to do is working. And I'm at a loss. Oh, that moment, though. The songs that they sung and the words they were speaking. Oh. It's a moment I'll never forget. Missions, young people, does something when you step out of your comfort zone and say, God, I'm in. I want to see you be God. Fasting is much like the same. It's a mission. When you step in and say, all right, God, I'm in. I want to see you be God. Let's do the unthinkable. I'm actually giving up all food for a week. I don't want to. Immediately you start backpedaling. That's your flesh. Ignore it. Keep going. Follow God, right? All right. That's all I have for you.